Hi, I'm Jones, the vegan archaeologist, digging up some delicious and healthy vegan recipes for you to try at home. This week I'm focusing on Mexican and Cinco de Mayo inspired recipes because Cinco de Mayo is coming right up. I previously made a vegan churros recipe, which is really delicious, and if you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. And today I am going to be making sopes. Now these are going to be a little twist on the traditional sope. The traditional ones are made on a flat griddle called a comal, and I tried it that way, and although they are very delicious that way, it was very time consuming. It was a lot of standing over the stove, waiting for these things to cook individually, and then you have to take them off the stove and kind of shape them by hand when they're hot, and it was just a lot of work, and I thought there has to be an easier way to do this. So what I'm making is basically a miniature sope, and they are baked. So this makes them perfect for taking to parties or eating as a snack or even as a meal. And they are super delicious, just as good as the traditional ones. And they are going to be filled with some refried beans that we're going to make and my very own special guacamole. So stay tuned and let's get into it. The base of the sopes are going to be made from masa harina, which is a corn flour. Sopes are kind of like a thick corn tortilla, but the sides are shaped so that they form a little dish that holds the fillings. And I use this organic brand from Bob's Red Mill. This video is not sponsored. I found this at my local natural grocer. And we're going to put 2 cups of the masa into a bowl and add a ½ teaspoon of salt. And then I just kind of mix that in before I add the water. And then you're going to start by adding 1 cup of water. You may need more water than this, but you just start with 1 cup and start mixing it with your hands. That's the easiest way to do it. I mean, I guess you could try it with a spoon, but it really is best to do it with your hands. It's a little like playing with Play-Doh, so just get in there and have some fun. Like I said, you might need to add a little more water. You want to end up with a slightly sticky, pliable dough, kind of like Play-Doh. So if it feels a little bit dry, just keep adding a little bit of water at a time until you get the right consistency. You should be able to form a firm but still pliable ball with the dough. Next, you need to form the dough into little balls. So I just take a pinch of the dough and roll it gently between my hands until it forms a nice ball about 1 inch in diameter. And then you just need to continue doing this with the rest of the dough until you have made it all into little balls. And it's really easiest if you do all of this at once instead of each one individually. You're going to need at least 1 muffin tin. I recommend 2 because this does make about 18 balls. And what I do is roll the balls between 2 silicone mats. And if you don't have silicone mats, you can use something like 2 large Ziploc bags. And this is just to keep the dough from sticking to the counter and from sticking to your rolling pin, and it makes it easy to peel them off the mat. I think waxed paper would also work just as well. And you want your tortilla to be about 2½ inches in diameter and about 1/4 inch thick. And then you're going to peel it off and then start putting it in your muffin tin. And you're just going to gently shape it into the tin. Just be really careful. Sometimes it does crack a little bit on the bottom and you can easily press it back together. It's not a big deal, but just be gentle when you're pressing it down and pinch the sides to make a little bit of a crust. And then you will have a little mini tart shaped sope. Then just continue to roll out the rest of the balls and placing the dough in the muffin tins. This does take a little bit of time, but it's something that you can recruit some family members to do. It's kind of a fun activity to do with kids. And when they are all done, you will put them in a preheated 375 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. While those are baking, we'll start our refried beans. So I started off with about half a tablespoon of coconut oil in a hot pan. You can use less if you want. And 1 to 2 cloves of finely minced garlic. Once the garlic has begun to soften and become fragrant, you will add your beans along with plenty of the liquid. And I used pinto beans. You can use black beans, and I have used black beans with this recipe before, but I actually prefer pinto beans, and they're really easy to make in the Instant Pot if you have one. I have been making beans for years, and once I got an Instant Pot, it was like life-changing as far as cooking beans goes. They are so good and so creamy when cooked in the Instant Pot. I highly recommend it. So you can see that I am slightly mashing the beans as they cook down, and you just want to keep this on low heat for a while and let some of the liquid cook off. Then I added the juice of half a lime, a pinch of salt, mixed that in, then turned off the heat and set them aside. So on to our guacamole. And my secret ingredient for my guacamole is a chili lime seasoning. Either this one from Trader Joe's or the Tajin brand works really nicely too. So you're going to start by cutting open at least 1 avocado, maybe 2, depends on how much you want to make. It's really easy to slice it in the skin and then just scoop it out with a spoon and place that in a bowl. Then I add 1 to 2 cloves of finely minced garlic and some finely minced red onion. Now I did not use the whole half of this onion. I used probably about 1/3 of this. I didn't even use as much as what I chopped up there. Then I put in a pinch of salt and plenty of that chili lime seasoning. I don't really measure it. I just toss some in there and mash it in, and then I put in the juice from 1 lime, that's a smallish lime, and then I add the chopped onion and mix it all together, and then I'm going to add some chopped cilantro. Some people call this coriander. I usually refer to the seeds of the plant as the coriander, and the leaves are cilantro. And I know some people don't like cilantro, but I personally love it, and I feel like it's a key ingredient in a lot of Mexican recipes, so you should just learn to like it. Just kidding. If you don't like cilantro, you can either skip it or replace it with parsley, but I highly recommend it. So once our little corn masa shells are baked, it is time to fill them. And we have our wonderful homemade refried beans, but if you're feeling a little lazy and don't want to make your own beans, you can always use canned refried beans. And then I topped it with a little bit of Daya cheese and some spicy salsa, and of course our delicious guacamole. These are so good and just perfect for your next party or for any time you just feel like having a little Mexican food. Personally, I could eat these any time of the day on any day, and I probably will. So there we are. The sopes are done and ready to eat, and I am really excited about trying one for you. Like I said, these are perfect for parties or snacks or a meal. I mean, they're perfect finger food. Look at that. They're almost like little pies. They're so cute, and I just think these are great. They're pretty easy to make. The hardest part was just, rolling the dough out, and really it doesn't take that long. and you can recruit your kids or somebody else to help you with them. It's a little bit like playing with Play-Doh, and it's really easy to cook the beans and make the guacamole while the corn masa is cooking in the oven. And then it's so easy to put it all together, and then you have the perfect party food. So let's dig in. Oh my god. Those are so good. The flavor of the beans and the guacamole in there, and a little zing from the salsa. That salsa is a little bit spicy, which I like, and the earthiness of the corn. These are so good, and I guarantee if you take them to a party, they are going to disappear. This whole plate could disappear pretty fast into my mouth. So I'm going to continue eating these, but before I do, I will let you know that the full recipe will be on my blog, and I will leave a link to that in the description box below. And I also have a brand new free vegan ebook. So it is called 5 on the go-to easy vegan recipes, and just like it sounds, it is 5 recipes that are super easy to make and perfect for taking on the go, like when you're going to work or you're going to school, or just when you want a meal really fast. And there's actually about 7 recipes. There's a couple bonus recipes because they're part of the other recipes, and this guacamole is one of those. So please check that out, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know if you tried this or if you're going to try it. I guarantee you, you're gonna love it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to get notified every time I post a new video. So I am going to chow down and have a wonderful Cinco de Mayo. Peace.